Today's video is going to be a really special one because I'm not going to be the one that's talking. Why are you guys clapping? I'd like to welcome Owlcat Games to the WolfheartFPS channel. I'm just kidding, it's still FPS. In a video where one of the game designers over at Owlcat named Yulia is going to talk to you about the camping and resting mechanics in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. This is perhaps one of the most important things to understand early on in your Pathfinder journey, so pay attention. So without further ado, enjoy this day-and-a-half early exclusive video from Owlcat. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Take it away, Yulia.
Hello, I'm Yulia Chernenko. I'm a game designer at Owlcat Games, and today I'm going to talk with you about resting and camping system in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. One of the main goals was to make it valuable, to make it affect your core experience, combat systems, make you think about how and when you're going to rest. Hunting and cooking was very important in Pathfinder. It can make camping mechanics. However, it doesn't really fit the narrative and the lore of camping, resting, and adventuring in the World Wound. Because in the World Wound, you can't really find a proper living creatures. Usually, if you find something living like plant or animal, it is corrupted or twisted. One of the new changes in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is corruption mechanics. Corruption is something that haunts you, that make everything a little bit more difficult and will in the end punish you and decrease your power immensely. Corruption will affect your party, and it has 3 stages. The main idea was to ensure that the first stage is a little bit easier for you than fatigue. The second stage is a little bit easier for you than exhaustion, and the third stage is much worse than the exhaustion. This is basically the place where you don't want to be. Therefore, each time you're going to rest on the location, your corruption meter that you're going to see in camping UI is going to increase. However, how much it will increase will depends mainly on 2 factors. First factor is where you rest. Usually if you rest somewhere closer, on the areas closer to the World Wound, corruption meter will grow faster because, well, you are closer to the eye of the storm, basically, of this corruption. And if you rest further from it, then the corruption meter will fill in slower. And the second thing that affects how the corruption meter increases is your divine services. So we've created a new role, divine services, either yourself or your companion who is proficient in lore religion. And before resting, this person will perform some kind of divine rituals that will decrease the growth of corruption. However, it will never ever decrease the growth of corruption to 0. It still will grow. You cannot really escape it. However, if you want to somehow cleanse yourself from the corruption, you can always go to the hubs. Basically, hub is a place, or a safe environment. So there you have a lot of different clerics, different people who are very proficient in lore religion, and they ensure that all your corruption is cleansed. As well, they ensure that the whole city or the whole area is free from the corruption. An interesting way to decrease or not grow your corruption is to find, while you're exploring, you might find some divine points or remains, and you can cleanse them. So when you cleanse it, basically the corruption meter decreases on the same amount as it would have increased if you've rested here. Speaking simpler, it is basically a free rest. But you don't have to rest there. So the main idea behind this is obviously that the player don't rest after or before each fight, and you have to manage your spells, you have to manage your potions, you have to manage your party. Apart from corruption mechanics, a new innovation in camping and resting in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is crafting of scrolls and potions. Now in your camp you will have 2 new roles, Alchemist and Scroll Scriber. Alchemist will be responsible for brewing potions, and scroll scriber will be responsible for crafting scrolls. Alchemists actually have two main responsibilities. One is brew potion and another is cooking. So for all who liked cooking in Pathfinder Kingmaker, don't worry, it is there, though we reworked it a little bit to suit the lore of the world wound. So you will need to purify your food before you start eating it. We based our crafting mechanics on Pathfinder tabletop rules. So before you can craft any potions or scrolls, you will need to have a certain feat. Certain classes and archetypes will gain this feat for free. So the alchemist will be able to brew potions, and let's say wizard will be able to scribe scrolls. So we've also added a brew potion mythic feat that would allow you to craft potions up to the 6th level spell, which is very unique, and you can't really find any potions with spells of 4th, 5th and 6th levels. Another important advantage of crafting is that you can actually create scrolls or potions with the caster level of your crafter, and that might influence the way you're going to approach different battles. Scribing scrolls will actually allow you, for instance, to create a lot of scrolls for the whole party, and you can ensure that your party will annihilate every and each monster with this brutal magic. Camping and resting is not just about preparing for the next big battle, but it's also about chilling and getting to know your companions a little bit better. So, as in Pathfinder Kingmaker, during rest, your companions will have small dialogues or banters around the fire, which will show you the complexity of their characters and how they feel about each other. Camping and resting are often neglected in crpgs, and in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous we wanted to approach it differently, to increase the player's immersion in surviving in harsh realities of the world wound. Hopefully this system will really help the player to immerse with this world and understand the hardship that their character are going through in this unfriendly and demon-infested area. So we have more information about Wrath of the Righteous coming up, so stay tuned, like and subscribe.
And that'll be it for today's video. Don't you dare tell me you'd rather listen to her than me on this channel. On a real note, or maybe that was a real note, thank you guys so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. Definitely let me know below in the comments. You guys are the reason why some of my videos are able to be fairly successful. That's one of the most important metrics for YouTube. So thank you guys so much. And I didn't really plan out anything else for this. This is going to get real awkward.